In this video, we're going to have a look at IELTS Speaking Part 3, Animals. We're going to have a look at how to change our answers from a 4 to an 8. So let's dig in. Let's have a look at the below Speaking Part 4 start example. So let's have a look at the below 4, our starting example. Very basic. Humans are different from animals. Kind of repetition, what is happening here. Humans can talk. We can use language. Humans have big brains. Humans live in communities. Humans use tools and technologies. Humans are special because of language, brains, communities, and tools. So there's a lot of repetition. Humans, 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 humans. Basic language: can, have, live, use, basic present simple. It's nice that at the end there's still like a closure. It's very important for Speaking Part 3 to kind of come to an end, some sort of end conclusion. So that's good about the example. There's a little bit of because of, there's some linkers here, but apart from that, it's all very basic, lots of repetition, basic present simple. So let's start to upgrade this now to the next level. So let's have a look at the next one. Band 4, speaking plus answer no. In what ways are humans different from animals? Again, here, this is kind of the old example. Humans are different from animals. Humans can talk and use language. It's the same thing here. Humans are different from animals because we can talk and use language. As you can see here, the sentence is already a lot longer. Here we have short sentences. This is a longer, complex sentence. And have bigger brains and live together in communities. Again, we're making a complexer, longer sentence. We're kind of repeating the same thing. Here a bit more, have bigger brains instead of big brains. So we're using a comparative here. Together in communities instead of living in communities, we kind of have together. And then we have a linker here also. We also use tools and technology. And then we have like something, why do we use it? This is an infinitive of purpose to help us. So it kind of gives us a bit of more information. That's the first part. And let's have a look at the next part. So humans are unique because we can communicate, think, live together, and use tools. It's kind of very similar. Here, there's a linker here. So instead of are special, we're using unique, a bit more complex language. Because here, of language here, because we can communicate, they kind of vary. Instead of using language again, we're communicating. Instead of brains, we're varying, we're using think. And instead of communities, we use live together. Tools, it's kind of difficult to have a different word for this, but here we're kind of using this one. Repeat. So kind of very similar, except for a linker, and trying to avoid repetition with using some synonyms here. Let's have a look at band 5 answer now and compare it with the previous one. We're pushing ourselves a bit more. So humans are different from animals because we can talk and use language. That's kind of the first part that we had before. We're making it much bigger now, as you can see. Humans different from other animals in various ways. So humans differ, the language, the grammar is a bit different in various ways. Again, this is a bit more complex language of saying this. And now we're kind of giving an example. We're going deeper. This just was basic. And now we're kind of giving a bit more example. One key distinction, again, a bit more complex language, is our ability to communicate through language. Again, this is far more complex. Again, we're comparing here. Unlike animals, we have developed complex systems of speech and writing. So the language here is far more complex, and we're extending it. We're adding an example of why we think language and talking is important. And then again, now we're focusing on the brain parts. We have bigger brains and live together in communities. Here again, as you can see, it's much bigger answer. Additionally, we're adding a linker here. Humans possess larger brains. Humans possess instead of humans have bigger brains, bigger, larger, more complex language. Again, we're using comparatives. And then enabling us to think critically and solve problems creatively. Again, we're telling us, what does this do? It gives a bit more information, and the languages here are also far more complex. We also live in communities. Again, we live together in communities. It's very similar, but we're kind of extending this again, forming societies that provide support and cooperation. This is kind of part of what we're doing as living in a community. So again, far more complex than a bit more extended answer. Then the tools, we also use tools and technology to help us. Again, instead of using also, we're using moreover here. Our capacity to invent and utilize tools sets us apart. Again, far more complex language sets us apart, allowing for advancements in technology and innovation. Again, technology and innovation, far more complex. Some grammar is also more complex, allowing us for our capacity to invent. So the language is far more complex. And then again, this is kind of the last closure. So humans are unique because we can think. So overall, instead of using so, a different kind of linker, overall, humans are unique. Humans stand out. Why do we stand out? Due to our, again, a far more complex way of saying because, due to our communication skills, intelligence. And again, we're trying to vary, not again like language, brains. We're kind of have here, instead of we communicate communication skills, think, a far more complex word for this is intelligence. Living together, social structure. Again, it's a far more complex synonym. Technology and achievements is focusing on tools. Again, it's a far more complex answer. So now we're kind of in the middle. We've just went from 4 to a 5+. Now it's kind of starting to become a bit more important. 6+ and 8+. 6+ especially for those people who need to have a B2, a C+ for academic IELTS. That's the C+, the 6.5 is becoming more important. And some people need to have a 7 or close to an 8. That's for the final example. So now we're going to have a look at, from our previous example, the 5+, how we're moving on to a 6.5 answer, which is suitable for your academic students. If you like our videos, hit the subscribe button so you can see some more. Send us some comments, maybe write down your own questions that you have or answers to the questions, and then I can put it in the video and we can upgrade it. We can go from where you are. Maybe you are starting at a 4.5, or maybe you're starting at a 6.5. You need something more. We can start upgrading your answer. So write it in the comments and I'll make a video about it. Apart from that, you can find us on all the social media. So let's have a look at the next part, 6.5 to an 8. Okay, like I said, now we're going to have a look at the 6.5 answer, or beyond 6 answer, to kind of for all those people who really need a higher score. So again, we're comparing the two questions here. Here we're kind of going from a far more formal way to a bit more relaxed formal way of talking, to kind of show that you're a bit more at ease with the language. So again, humans different from other animals in various ways. Humans, we're pretty unique compared to other animals. It's a bit more fluent. It's a bit more informal, kind of not too informal, but just kind of nice to kind of show that you can be relaxed in using the language. I mean, just look at our language skills. Again, just look at, instead of like one distinction is our ability to communicate. Again, this answer is far more complex. I mean, a bit longer and extended. We can express ourselves pretty deep, some pretty deep things. Using these adverbs, it's nice. Things with things with words way beyond. Again, you're using an adverb here to kind of use this. Just basic communication. Again, basic communication. You're using the adjectives and adverbs a lot more in these 6.5 answers. That's where the difference comes, the adjectives and adverbs, and of course the complex grammar, or some more complex grammar. It's like we have the whole other level of understanding, again, instead of saying understanding, a whole other level of understanding and expression. So its adjectives and adverbs start to become far more important. Again, instead of using a linker additional here, we're using and. Then there's our brains. They're bigger, right? We're kind of using these questions or rhetorical questions to kind of not just to get to kind of examine or focus on us, what we're talking about. Gives us the edge. Again, if this is a bit more complex language, a bit more I would say informal, but okay for the exam. It just gives us the edge. Is again a nicer, complex answer than saying it makes everything easier for us, or something that's coming up with coming up with creative solutions. You name it. Again, instead of saying etc., 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 you name it. You're kind of showing that there's other things there. We're like wired to constantly explore and innovate. Like I said, these adverbs, constantly explore, becomes a far more important part in those 6.5 answers. But we also live in communities again, but it's not just about being smart individually. So again, we're kind of connecting the previous part with this part. So it's not only about being smart, but also being together. So you're connecting those two paragraphs. We're social creatures. We thrive in communities where we can share. So you have like a relative clause where we can share to add some more information, support ideas. That sense of connection and cooperation, that's what sets us apart. Again, this is the sentence before. This is again far more complex and longer answer. Some relative clauses, some adverbs and adjectives, things like this. And again, linker, and let's not forget about our knack for, again, a bit more complex, saying that our capacity to, a bit more informal, but it's a good language. Again, seriously, again, like this question to kind of make sure that you draw the attention from the examiner. Have you seen the things we've invented? This we're using a present perfect structure. Have you seen the things we have invented? It's a bit more complex structure. Again, giving some basic examples: wheels, smartphones. And again, we're always finding ways to make life easier and more interesting. Present continuous, using this, a different present perfect here. So mixing different tenses to kind of show that you have this ability to kind of mix tenses. Then again, overall, yes, when you put it all together, again, this is a longer linker of saying overall. When we put everything together, our brains, social skills, and technology prowess, a bit more technological prowess, it's a bit more complex. It's pretty clear, this adverb here, why humans are in a league of our own. Again, you're kind of having this summary at the end, as always. So overall, and yes, this is kind of the summary at the end. So let's have a look at the next one. No, the final one, our 8+ answer, the thing that you've probably been waiting for, which is not always necessary for most students, the 8+ answer, but it gives you a good idea of where we started and where we kind of finish. Between the 8.5 and the 6.5, there's not so much difference, I would say, language-wise. It's starting to become more the delivery, what you do. While you're talking, how fluent you are when you're talking during the exam, and also more about your intonation, how you use intonation, these things, of course, the mistakes that you make. So the language, I would say 6.5, 8.5, there's a slight difference in language, but I think it's more how confident you are at delivering the language and how confident you are. So the other parts of pronunciation and accuracy and fluency become far more important. They're already important at 6.5, but they're becoming now even more important with this additional language. So we're pretty unique. So humans stand out from other animals, again, because we have this incredible ability to communicate using language. Again, a far long, complex sentence. Humans, right, we're pretty unique compared to other animals. It's a complex sentence, but it's a little bit a little longer, more complex. Incredible ability to stand out from these things, communicate using language. I mean, just think about it. Again, these kind of more rhetorical questions. We can express our thoughts in ideas in such complex ways through speech and writing. Again, this is a longer, complex sentence. It's pretty amazing, this, again, adverb here. When you stop to think about it, it's very similar. The language is a bit different, a bit more complex, a little bit longer sentences, but similar. There's some different words here and there, different expressions that are being used. Again, now, as you can see here, it's a bit longer. Then there are brains. So, and then there are brains. Kind of the same thing here. They're bigger, right? This is a bit extended. They're bigger than most animals. And then a relative clause sentence here to kind of, again, extend your sentence. Clauses become far more important to kind of show that you can extend these things, which allows us to pretty cool things. Again, some adverbs here. We think critically, adverbs here. Come up with creative solutions to problems. Imagine things that don't even exist yet. It's like our brains are these supercomputers constantly working, again, adverb using, constantly working to make sense of. So again, a lot far longer, more complex sentences. These adverbs, these clauses, longer sentences. Similar language, but a bit more complex. And again, these adverbs start to become far more important. Again, but, plus, different kind of linker here. Really social creatures instead of saying social creatures. Again, these adverbs thrive on being, thrive on plus ing, showing that you can use this complex grammar. Forming communities, living together in societies. Again, you're using here ing, living together in societies is your subject. Lets us share knowledge. Again, it's more complex grammar that you're using than the other example there. Build upon each other. It's like teamwork on a massive scale. Again, massive scale. These things, these adjectives and adverbs, again, more important than before. And let's not forget about our knack for tools and technology. Again, very similar. Like I said, there's very similar 6.5 or 6 plus and 8 plus. It's just here and there the grammar. Seriously, I mean, have you seen some of the things we invented? Have you seen the things we invented? Have you seen some of the things? So very similar in structure, just again, a bit more complex. From the wheel to smartphones, again, we're going here from simple tools like sticks and rocks, sophisticated gadgets, simple tools, sophisticated gadgets. These adjectives, again, far more important. And here we have the same thing. We're just expanding again our answer. We're always finding ways to make life easier and more interesting. We're always finding new ways instead of just ways, new ways to make life easier and more efficient instead of more interesting, more efficient. Efficient is a bit higher language than interesting. And then again, some sort of conclusion. So yes, when you add it all up, when you put it all together, it's very similar, I would say. Our language, again, we're extending our answer. Instead of saying language, language skill, brain, brain power, social nature, instead of social skill, very similar. Technological prowess is kind of the same thing that's staying here. It's pretty clear. It's no wonder. It's no wonder. It's a bit more complex than it's pretty clear. We're so different from the rest of the animal kingdom, a league of our own. I would say both of them are nice. You can definitely cross-reference and use them. So that was the different answers. So those were the different ways and the different answers. We came from a below 4. This is our basic answer. And we upgraded it to an 8 plus answer. As you can see, far more complex, far longer answer, more extended. The grammar is more complex, more adverbs, more adjectives being used, more gerunds, infinitives, relative clauses being used, different kind of clauses being used, just to show that you have this complexity of language. There are a lot of repetition here, a lot of other ways of expressing, lots of synonyms being used, a lot of really good collocations being used. Not for everybody, like I said, an 8 plus answer is necessary, but at least it gives you an idea from where you are to where you can actually go with this answer. In what ways are humans different from animals? So I would say have a look at the answers on the website or in the tape script below, and then you can compare and if you would want to send me your answer, we can have a look at it and we can slowly upgrade it and I can make a video about it. So apart from that, good luck with your IELTS exam, and give me a like or a thumbs up, and let's see what I can do for you.